Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again for OpsDesk.org, doing a 3-minute recap for Thursday, 20 November. Here we go. So first of all, let me apologize for being absentee a little bit online lately. I was actually down in D.C. at the invitation of Congressman Jim Jordan and his House Judiciary Committee to testify on Blue City crime to the committee. And lo and behold, while I'm down there, what happens? Another horrific crime in one of our blue cities, Chicago, with this woman being set on fire in the subway. Brandon Johnson, of course, calling it an isolated incident, and we all have to heal. No, this woman has to heal, not all of us. And it wasn't an isolated incident because we've had similar crimes all over the blue cities. In New York, we had a woman set on fire last year. In Charlotte, we had the young woman have her throat cut. And if you Google around and look for crimes on our transportation systems, you're going to see them all across our blue cities. Now, where am I going with this? The obvious points have been made about Chicago and this terrible crime. Bottom line is this. If you could manage to stop even a small percentage of the population from doing these things, you'd see an appreciable difference here. It is not an enormous segment of the population. You're talking about a comparative. In New York, they estimate about 1,000 people. If you manage to commit them, because they're criminally insane, for lack of a better term, you'd see almost an immediate improvement in the quality of life here, and then women might not have to worry about being set on fire going back and forth to work. So where am I going with this? National Guard has become a big hot button issue. And look, I will admit that Donald Trump is on some shaky ground just to deploy them to the cities for criminal interdiction purposes, okay? They're not going to be answering 911 calls or anything like that. They're not doing that. They're just there as a deterrent, all right? But it is a little bit shaky unless the governor asks for it, unless federal law is being impeded or critical infrastructure. And if you go through the law here, Donald Trump has a pretty good case, very good case, I would argue, to deploy the National Guard to the transportation systems in our blue cities. In New York, they've been in here now for over a year because the governor did it, and we've had them since 9/11. That's 25 years without incident. The federal government can protect critical infrastructure. Donald Trump would be on legal, firm ground to do that. I think he should do it. I think it would be a good statement to make, get him in Chicago and some of these other cities like Charlotte, where women are afraid to get on a train. And as for testifying to Congress, I went down there with great hopes to have a bipartisan conversation, including talking about some of the things that went right here in New York, a Democrat city. And all the Democrats wanted to do, Jamie Raskin's team holding up a 3x4 placard of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein from 30 years ago. What a waste.